I always want to do that Night at the Roxbury thing. You know what I loved?
What?
Kristen, is the fact that we're going live. I love the fact that we're going live, for one, and the fact that I'm multitasking, trying to make sure everything's cool with our feed and everything before. Just making sure everything's kosher.
That's a good idea.
No, what I was really going to say is...
Yes. What were you really going to say?
What I was really going to say is the fact that I love the fact that last week on the show, you always dance to the music.
Okay.
No, it's very cute.
I can't help it.
It's okay. It's good. I'm down with that. I'm down with the dancing. Well, anyway, fam, we're back with you for another Disney list. And we have a big old show for you. And this is a huge day for us because we are now expanding the family of podcasts, which is great. First of all, Kristen, you've got your podcast.
Yes, I do. Dining at Disney.
Right? And then we have the Disney list. Lindsay says we sound great. Hey, what's up, girl? Number one fan. Lindsay, hope you're okay. Hope the storms didn't bring you down. She had like a power outage. A lot of people had these power outages.
It's not good.
No, not good at all. But we love the fact that we have a brand new podcast to the roster of podcasts called Skull Rock Podcast. It launches every Monday with myself as co-host along with Dave Bossert. And we talk about pop culture, the movies, mostly movies and theater and things. So it's just a lot of fun. And we're going to have a new show launching tomorrow. We have got some great guests coming up, composers and filmmakers and actors and all kinds of voice actors, all kinds of people. So next week we're going to start doing guests, which is great. So I can't wait for you guys to see what's up. Hey, Melanie's joining us from the chat. She's from Canada. She loves the shirts. Show them your shirt.
Mine is a skeleton Mickey. And the cool thing is it glows in the dark.
I love it. We could turn off the lights, but Kristen would have to unhook herself.
No, I'm not doing that.
I know she's done that like all afternoon for me, apparently. But anyway, Lindsay said she got power after 50 hours. 50 hours! Oh, have mercy. Well,
I hope your fridge and freezer were not full.
Yeah, probably so. Probably so. Well, anyway, Kristen.
Yes.
I think people should know that Disney's making big strides in making the park safe, even though Disneyland is not open yet. We do have Walt Disney World that's open.
That's true, we do.
And other theme attractions over there in the Orlando area. If they're interested in maybe booking a trip, you're cooped up and you need a way out. You need some time. You know what I mean? Kristen can help you out. Kristen, because you are an authorized vacation planner with Disney and Universal, why don't you tell the good people where they can email you?
They can email me at themeparksandcruises@gmail.com.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So, I guess another thing we need to tell everybody is you need to go ahead and support our show. Subscribe to the feed. Click the bell for notifications on Facebook because we go live there. Afterwards, we do a little archive show on YouTube, so it would really help. And by the way, the show last week was a big hit. We're talking about quick service, top 5 quick service restaurants, one per park, including Disney Springs. So if you missed out on that, you need to go back and check that out because it was a big hit. And you can once again support our show. As I said, like, share, subscribe, leave us those 5-star reviews if we deserve it. We believe we deserve it. And then you can also do what Lindsay does because she's a top fan. You can also donate to the cause via our Anchor.fm app. Just check out Anchor.fm. It's a part of the Spotify podcast family, so you can go ahead and download the app. And then you can also leave us a voicemail message. You can interact with us in the show, leave us all kinds of really cool notes, and we'll play them during the show. That's a great way to get interactive, but it's also a great way to support. Lindsay is a wonderful supporter of the show, so we do thank her for that, and we owe her some stuff. So Lindsay, we've been saying We just need to message her. So we'll message you, and we're going to get you something cool. Okay?
Yes, I've got her email. I just need to email her back to get her address.
Yes. Oh, good.
So
good. All right.
Yes, because I do have something that some stuff I've set aside for her already.
That's wonderful. All right. Well, got a big show for you lined up. Tell all your friends, and let's get on with the show. The following is a production of the Sorcerer Radio Network.
An imagination, huh?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Broadcasting from the Tiki Room Studios in Music City, it's the Disney List. The Disney List.
You've got to have characters that the audience, the viewer, the reader cares about.
What makes a hero? What's friendship? What's the idea of sacrificing yourself for something larger?
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
Disney List on Sorcerer Radio with your hosts, Kristen and Aljon. We're back on the air, Sorcerer Radio at srsounds.com. That's where you can find us. Every single week, we bring you the top 10 list. We rank things, whether it be from the parks, whether it be from the world of Marvel, Star Wars, and of course, Disney Plus, Disney food on occasion. As I'm not trying to steal Kristen's thunder, I don't want to do that. She's going to come down like Thor on me and hit me with a big hammer if I do that too often. But my name's Aljon Go. I am the co-host of the Disney List every week. You'll find me here, big Disney, Marvel, Star Wars fan, and pop culture person, joined by my lovely and talented co-hostess with the mostest, Miss Dining at Disney herself, authorized vacation planner, Kristen. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to the show. Big week. How was your week?
Good. It was a little strange. Unfortunately, this week Bubba was under the weather, so I ended up doing a show by myself, which is always quite interesting since I'm not used to talking to myself.
Yeah, it's interesting when you're hosting by yourself. I spent so many years in radio, and I remember, I used to put a picture of somebody, like a friend or somebody that I would talk to on the radio, because it was important, especially in the early years, of having that one-on-one communication with somebody, because you want to make sure that your smile transcends the microphone. You talk to the people, the one person out there, and that way you sound more personable and you don't sound like a fake radio DJ like, hey, it's the morning zoo, blah, 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 you know?
See, I don't sound like that. I just think I sound very awkward, like I'm just not all that comfortable talking. Because I feel like I'm rambling, and that somebody else should be saying something. And I think I may talk a little bit faster, too.
Maybe. Your podcast went by really quick this week, your Dining at Disney podcast. So
yeah, it's because they didn't have Bubba to have her, The one thing about having a co-host for a show is you always have somebody who you can slightly go off topic with.
Yes.
And there's just conversation that happens between two people that can't happen when there's not somebody to communicate back to you.
This is true. Well, at least you and I have each other. I try to help you out. I said earlier, Kristen, if you'll just wait for me, I'll go ahead and host the show with you. I don't like doing the shows too late. And on the Disney List, when we do the show, we usually do them late afternoon or, record them late at night. And it just makes me stressed out because I have to edit the show and put it up and do a bunch of things, but I get stressed out and I don't sleep well. So that doesn't really help me out. So the earlier we do it, the better. Hopefully this will be more of a habit for us doing these a little bit earlier in the afternoon.
Well, I wanted to try and do one myself. I need to learn how to do that.
I think you did a pretty good job this week. So not only do you have a show, I did allude to the fact that we did launch Skull Rock Podcast last week with my co-host Dave Bossert, Disney animator, special projects head for Disney, and now just a full-time writer, writes about and archive stuff for Disney. And we talk about movie, films, and pop culture. And we had a great show. That show goes live every Monday. And then we've got, of course, Disney List. And then on Wednesday, you've got your show as well, Dining at Disney. So we've got all kinds of great stuff to promote during the week. And we would appreciate if you would like, share, and subscribe to all of our shows and the multiple platforms, podcast, webcast platforms that we're on. So you can check us out.
And I'm going to actually be a guest co-host on another show this week.
Who would that be?
I am going to be joining Tony on Disney Parks podcast tomorrow.
That's awesome. Well, they are friends of ours. We've been on their show many times. So that's amazing. Always good. And yeah, so we're going to do that. And like I said, it's going to be a super busy week. I am kind of bummed out, though.
About what?
Well, late last week, my guitar hero of guitar heroes passed away, Eddie Van Halen. You know that.
Didn't he play for the stuff that they did for Captain EO? No. Okay. Well, I don't know why I thought that. Okay.
Well, he did play on Beat It from Michael Jackson, but he's done a lot. He did the Twister soundtrack. He did a bunch of different soundtracks, The Wildlife. He had a sample that they used in Back to the Future when Marty McFly goes back in time and puts the headphones on his father. And it plays the little Walkman and goes, "I'm Darth Vader from the planet Vulcan." So it's one of those crazy things. I'd like to say what up to the chat. But anyway, before I do that, I just want to say rest in peace, Eddie, because Van Halen played such an important part of my life and in many others as well. And I'm a big, big Van Halen fan. So I'm going to miss that guy. So we have here a bunch of people in the chat. Would you like to give them a little shouty shout?
Sure. We have Lindsay Marie, Melanie. We have Scott. Who else do we have in there?
Yeah, that's it.
That's everybody.
So yeah, we're just so random when we get on the air. Hopefully we'll do this more often. We've got great news, by the way, folks, lined up. And then, Kristen, not only do we have big headline news to talk about, a lot of Disney news, but we also have a mega list. Kristen, what are we talking about this week?
We are talking top 10 Halloween Disney movies.
All right, let's get into the news. Disney List headline news coming to you live from the same desk that we do the normal show at. It's not the news desk. We do have some news. Kristen.
We have a lot of news.
We have a lot of news. What do you want to start off with? Some park news?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Disney World signage reminds guests that they will be asked to leave for not following the mask policy. You got to wear a mask, a face mask, a covering over your nose and mouth, and you cannot be seen walking around the park unless you're stationary in certain designated areas to eat.
I have a feeling they have been told had to tell a lot of guests to put their masks on or to wear it properly. The new sign says, guests not wearing an approved mask will be asked to leave.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I have a feeling they've told that to a lot of people. And so they're putting them there hoping that will get guests to be like, oh, yeah, I got to put this thing back on, or I need to put this the right way.
Yeah, they put up the warning signs all over. When you roll into the TTA, when you roll into any of the public areas, there is the warning for COVID-19, plus the health and safety warning notice. And they do mention on the sign itself, face coverings are to be worn at all times except when actively eating or drinking in a stationary and physically distanced place. And so face coverings required for guests of all ages except for those 2 and up. Those are the 2 exceptions, 2 and up. So you got to wear that mask.
Yes, and they do have, if you go to their website, you can find what masks are approved by Disney, because not all face coverings are approved. So
There you go.
and for those of you that are letting your kids wear a mask into the park as part of a costume, that does not count as an appropriate mask. Costume masks aren't. But I'll tell you, Disney on their website, because I talked about this on the show, Disney Store has some really cool ones that they just put out.
Exactly. If you think you're going to get, well, I like those. By the way, I did see some really cool Tiki Haunted Mansion stuff, of course, for Sorcerer Radio. Sorcerer Radio's got a bunch of great masks, by the way. You need to check out srsounds.com for the Sorcerer Radio official masks. But there was this one of Jigsaw that I thought was really cool. You know, speaking of Halloween, you had the Jigsaw mouth and the little swirly things on the cheeks.
Oh, my.
You know, I thought, oh, that was super cool. But Scott Garcia is saying no gators. Yeah,
That's
man.
true. You can't wear those.
Exactly. Can't wear those. Can't wear the bandanas. None of that stuff. No, you know, you're definitely gonna wear not wearing the military gas mask with a big air respirator vents on the side. You can't do that. So no Darth Vader mask or Boba Fett masks either. The other thing too that's going down, Kristen, is holiday merch is available. Holy smokies.
Yep. On Shop Disney.
It's that time of year. Do you know what you're going to be, any extra Disney stuff you're going to be picking up for the holidays? The ugly Christmas sweater.
No ugly Christmas.
No ugly Christmas
I can't
sweaters.
say that. Ugly Christmas sweater. No ugly Christmas sweater for me. I don't know what I'm going to be getting, but I did see that
Wishing for.
some cool stuff when I was on there the other day.
I like that little shirt that says "'Tis the Season." It's got Mickey with a hot chocolate.
Yep.
That's cute. I like that.
Ringer tee.
Yeah, the Ringer tee is good. They've got the mouse ears. They do have holiday masks.
I talked about that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Good stuff. The other thing that's happening, and there's just a little food stuff. I know you're going to talk a little bit about this during Dining at Disney this week, but you want to just hit on the highlights?
Cinderella's Royal Table opened a few weeks ago, and Cinderella has begun making limited appearances at a social distance inside the restaurant. So also Mickey Mouse and his pals will be returning to meet guests during breakfast at Chef Mickey's, and that will start on December 16th.
All right.
So
Not too shabby. Not too shabby. And there's more. Joffrey's.
If you are all about the Joffrey's coffee and not the Starbucks, there will be more locations opening at Disney World.
Thank goodness, man. That's my favorite coffee. That's
I
my
like their
favorite. My
coffees.
favorite part, coffee in the park. And by the way, Expedition Roasters put out some really cool new coffee. Shout out to Expedition Roasters. But the Joffrey's coffee in the park, yummy, yummy, yummy. So I look forward to more locations of Joffrey's whenever they get to open those. How about some park hours?
Disney World is extending its park hours through the end of 2020.
Okay, well, that's important to note. I think you need to check the My Disney Experience app to see the different hours and things like that and plan accordingly. Like I said, we have tons of news. But some more restaurant news, Kristen. This is one of our favorite resorts.
Yes, over at Coronado Springs, they will be opening on Wednesday. And when they do, restaurant and amenities will be available.
That's good. I mean, it's going to look really nice. I can't wait. I mean, the remodel looks pretty amazing.
Yeah, you haven't seen it yet, have you?
No, I sure haven't.
We're going to need to go by there next time we're there so you can see it because it's beautiful.
I love it. I think it looks great, and I can't wait to check it out in the Destino Tower. I can't wait to see that ourselves. Something that I'm really looking forward to, and what I look forward to every time we go, is the fact that there's always entertainment, musicians especially, over there at Disney Springs. Being a musician myself, I always appreciate the little piano that rolls around all across Disney Springs, or the bands and performers that happen to play the different band shells. And I'm glad that they're back doing their thing. What are some of your favorite places to check out bands and music there at Disney Springs?
I like the little area over between Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar and the boathouse.
That's awesome. I
And
love
Raglan Road, of course.
Well, Raglan Road is always great because you can go in for a sip at the outside bar. You can go inside and check out. Sometimes they have the band, but definitely have the dancers in there. But I do like it, that margarita station over there outside.
Oh, yeah.
That margarita station's great.
Dockside Margaritas.
Dockside Margaritas. And they have some great bands playing over there in Splitsville as well. So it's good to see musicians and bands getting back to work there at Disney Springs. They've got musicians all over the place, so I look forward to seeing that. Now, how about this? Speaking of things they're adding, I think it's important to note that, we did talk about the layoffs that have been going on at Disney earlier in the year during this pandemic. Disney furloughed a lot of people, and now they're continuing to go and release people, a lot of part-timers, cast members being laid off with a notice of separation that went out to the seasonal cast members. It's been very difficult for people. Disney, all in all, their seasonal cast member workforce represents 70% of those being laid off.
And that also includes the part-time.
Yeah, and part-timers like Yeehaw Bob.
Yep.
So keep your chin up, folks. We are still, hoping that things churn out and we get out of this sooner than later so you guys can get back to doing what you guys do so good, which is serving all the great Disney guests around the world. In great movie news, and this can be great for some people and not great for others. Speaking of layoffs, that more theater chains like a Regal are shutting down. Was it Regal or Cinemark? It laid off a lot more people, and they're shutting their theaters down. So AMC is still going strong. But with that said, Disney's decided to pull Soul. And this is a great movie, y'all. Jamie Foxx in there playing the lead in Soul. And this movie is about a musician who just happens to be in the wrong place at the wrong time and what happens to you after you die. And this trailer, just talking about it, gives me chills because I love the trailer so much. But they're going straight to Disney Plus Christmas Day. Christmas Day, Kristen.
I'm disappointed to see them skipping theaters for another movie because I like going and seeing movies at the theater. So,
yeah. Well, once again, Disney Pixar's Soul will skip theaters and drop directly onto Disney Plus on Christmas Day this year. The movie originally was supposed to be released in June, then pushed back to November because of the pandemic. And now here it is, Christmas. And wouldn't it be interesting, though, if you picked up one of these posters that had the release date of November 20th and it's not going into theaters, right?
Yep.
Unlike Mulan, where customers of Disney Plus had to pay the additional entry fee of $30 for advanced viewing, right? This movie, Soul, will be available as part of the service. Director Pete Docter had this to say about the release. The world can be an exhausting and frustrating place, but it can also be full of unexpected joys and even seemingly mundane things. He said in a statement, the Christmas present is certainly one of those unexpected joys. Well, that's a great way to put it, Pete. So Bob Chapek, the CEO of the Walt Disney Company, says, we're thrilled to share Pixar's spectacular moving Soul going direct to Disney Plus in December. It is a truly heartwarming film that will be a treat for families to enjoy together this holiday season.
We'll have to watch it when we get home from my parents.
It's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. Did you hear this too, Kristen, that the shareholders are trying to lobby that their dividends be, I forgot, 300 million or whatever it is in dividends be placed into Disney Plus and creating content?
Wow.
That's what they're shooting for. I think a lot of people are seeing what's going on and they're wanting to invest in getting more content for the service to be more competitive, to keep subscribers going, especially at the rate that these films are being held back, right?
Well, I will say one of my advices to Disney would to stay out of all of the political mess. That would be that would be definitely one good thing that would help.
I think they're steering that direction.
Because from what I've seen, the fact that some of the sports have not done that, it is not helping them at all. And it's actually quite a bit hurting them.
Yeah, well,
So.
I think the NBA, well, not the NBA, but I think it may have been the NBA is going to stop doing these social justice posts and stuff like that. So we're not political on the show, but I will say that if you're trying to keep an audience and gain an audience and you want people to visit your stores and buy things, it's important not to be divisive, right? So you want people to buy into you, and people want to be entertained. And this is my feeling. I feel like if you're going to be entertained, or if you want to be entertained, that's what your job is. Entertain people. Simply just entertain people and know your place. People want to escape reality and find solace in music and find solace in entertainment. And you can use your platform separate from your corporate entity, separate from your movies, and just be a source of pure entertainment. What you do on your own personal platform is your own business. But when it comes to bringing the masses together, sports has the ability to do that. Movies, films, music has the ability to do that. It might be something for them to consider.
I actually tried to explain that once to an employer that I was running their social media for, and she was a very political person. And I said to her, I was like, this is good news, and this has to do with what our nonprofit's all about. But she would not share it because that wasn't under who she liked politically. And right. To me, I feel like no matter how you stand politically, if you have something to gain or something to lose by posting your preference, you really should stay away from it. Mm-hmm. I really wish people would keep politics to politics, and that did not interfere with any other aspect of their life, who they associate with, or whatever it may be, or brands sharing stuff. Just share good news, share good content, and leave all the other mess out of it, because then you turn certain people away from you. And why do that?
Right. Well, yeah, especially if you are a shareholder or a stockholder, right? That invested in a company. The last thing you want them to do is clearly divide the audience that you're trying to earn money from. And you've invested money, so.
That's why I stay off Twitter. I don't want to know what celebrities have to say about what, because then whatever stupid thing they may post, I don't know about it. And that doesn't make me go, oh, now I'm not going to go see their movies anymore or whatever.
Scott Garcia says, I wish Disneyland would open politics.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the governor.
Scott Garcia also said, I heard there may be an adult area of Disney Plus like Deadpool and the like. Well, I don't know if that's going to happen. I know that they do have a brand new show, Hellstrom, which is the last one of Jeff Loeb's Marvel TV shows it's a little bit darker. It's more about the horror realm of like the Ghost Rider style narrative that they were going to debut on ABC, but I think they pulled the plug and they're doing it for Hulu. So if there's any type of questionable content or more adult content, you might see that pop into Hulu. That's what I was told, but you never know. They do have some PG-13 content and on Disney Plus and some other things on Disney Plus that are a little, a little.
I want them to add AMC to Hulu. Just putting that out there. Add AMC to Hulu.
So you can watch The Walking Dead instead of just Fear the Walking Dead.
Oh, yes.
I know, right? I know. I get it. So that's not it. We'll do a couple more tidbits here. But by the way, big Star Wars news coming on the horizon, by the way. So there's Gary Whitta has said, stay tuned for some really cool news. We know that there's going to be news about the Obi-Wan series being released really soon, more Disney Plus live action news. So I can't wait to hear more about that. Another bit of tidbit film wise is Space Mountain is going to get a live action movie at Disney. Kristen, did you see that?
Interesting. Yes, I
So
heard that.
Disney's developing a live action Space Mountain as part of the studio's latest effort to expand the universe of films about its venerable theme park rides. Studio has tapped Joby Harold, whose film credits include King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, and Zack Snyder's upcoming Army of the Dead. Spouse Tori Tunnell added their Safe House Pictures banner. So that's under their Safe House Pictures, and they have Dan Lin and Jonathan Eric, who's also producing. Those people have been involved in such projects as Obi-Wan, right? As well as John Wick, and so that's cool. So Space Mountain, of course, was around back in 1975, and
That was a good year.
it was a good year, Kristen. It was your birth year. Love it. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see what's going on there. Haunted Mansion, of course, also got a nod for a green light for getting turned into a motion picture. So we'll see. I hope it's better than Country Bears. I'm just putting it out there. Hope it's better than the Haunted Mansion reboot should be good, though.
I hope it's scarier.
Right?
Yeah, that it's not a comedy.
Well, speaking of scary, Doctor Strange, his movie is going to be crazy. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is getting crazier and crazier with all these rumors surrounding the different stunt casting that's going to be going on. Guest stars have been rumored to be like Tom Cruise as a different version of Iron Man, as one of the many types of different stunt casting they might be pulling there. But did you hear this? Benedict Cumberbatch has just been announced to play Doctor Strange in the next Spider-Man movie.
That's awesome.
So
I
he's
am
coming in
hoping he ends up being, in a sense, like the character Tony Stark, and that you see him in more of the movies, even if it's in like a more cameo type role. But I like that is him being like the new
Iron Man.
the new head of the Avengers.
Well, with the tragic loss of Chadwick Boseman, Benedict Cumberbatch may have to step up and do that. I mean, think about it. No Black Widow. You've got the Black Widow prequel, but moving forward, Black Widow, in the absence of the other Avengers, she was leading the Avengers in the MCU in that 5-year gap.
Mm-hmm.
So her character is off the chessboard. Tony Stark is off the chessboard. Captain America is off the board.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, now who knows what's going to happen with Black Panther as the tragic death of Chadwick Boseman happened. And so there's a huge gap there of the Marvel Avengers that are gone.
Because you still have Thor.
They still have Thor.
But you need to like replace those other ones that were very predominant characters in the storyline. And I think
Ant-Man, you still have Hawkeye. You've got Hulk, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, War Machine, and Guardians are still there. And of course, you said the Mighty Thor. So
I'd like to see Spider-Man kind of be one of those characters that fills that void, as well as Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
That I would like.
That'll be nice. We shall see what happens with that. But I will say that I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head there, Kristen, with Benedict Cumberbatch, because it says here, read this paragraph.
Cumberbatch's casting marks the third major crossover between the films. Produced by Disney's Marvel Studio and Sony Pictures Spider-Man movies, with Holland after Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark appearance in 2017's Spider-Man Homecoming and Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury appearance in 2019's Spider-Man Far From Home.
I will say that it does appear that he will be taking up the mantle of mentor.
I like that, though.
I do too. It's going to be great.
Like I said, I was pleasantly surprised by how much I like him in that role.
So, quick tidbit. You need to listen to Dining at Disney this week because I know you'll be discussing this. The new Disney collection at Williams-Sonoma looks amazing.
Very cool.
Looks absolutely amazing. Ain't cheap, folks. Ain't cheap, but there's some really cool stuff there. I like the Mickey Mouse spatula and the Minnie Mouse spatulas. I'm sure they're going to be great for you, Kristen, because that's right up your alley. There's also a Mickey Mouse head flex spatula in there and some oven mitts.
And some Frozen.
And some, of course there's Frozen. Are you kidding me?
That way they can get little girls in the kitchen cooking.
Well, anyway, once again, what kind of news would you like us to tackle? What of these headlines interest you the most? Leave us a comment, leave us those questions, and then also leave us a voicemail using the Anchor app as well and touch base with us. And maybe your question will be played on next week's episode of the Disney List. It's the Disney List. Top 10.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Kristen, we're back. We are talking about what exactly?
We are talking top 10 Disney Halloween movies to watch.
I love Halloween. Every year, Kristen and I, well, not just every year, just about every night, seemingly, we watch horror movies all the time. We're big horror movie fans.
That's true.
But Halloween gives us an excuse not only to decorate the house and dress up kooky there on Halloween, scare a bunch of kids. We also enjoy Halloween movies. And what we have for you is
our top 10 list.
That's right. These are movies you can stream right now on Disney Plus. We've got an awesome list here of movies you can stream. And it's just, these are some of our favorites, but there's a lot more because they just recently launched the Halloween collection on Disney Plus that you can check out. Disney films like Hocus Pocus, Nightmare Before Christmas, Halloween Town are just streaming there. And now you can actually invite your friends to check it out too with the Disney stream whatever it's called, the group stream feature.
Yes,
so,
which you can have up to 6 people.
Yes.
But they have to have Disney Plus.
Yes, absolutely. It's really cool stuff that you need to check out here. I've got all kinds of specials. I think some of the retro stuff for the TV shows are really cool. But at any rate, please check out Disney Plus and their curated collection of really cool movies and TV shows and specials. So I tell you what we need to do. Let's go ahead and get this ball rolling.
Number 10.
All right, Kristen, what is number 10?
Number 10 is Halloween Town.
All righty. So while I get this clip queued up, Kristen, I'm going to go ahead and have you read this thing about Halloween Town.
Okay, so Marnie Dillon and Sophie Piper have their first out of mini adventures. So can you scroll that so I can see that?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you. On Halloween, while Marnie is arguing with her mother, Gwen, the kid's grandmother, Aggie, comes to visit. Aggie wants to start Marnie's witch training before her 13th birthday, or Marnie will lose her powers forever.
Forever.
But there is another reason for Aggie's visit. Something dark and evil is growing in Halloween Town, and Aggie wants help to defeat it. While Aggie and Gwen are arguing, Aggie uses magic, which Marnie observes. After Aggie leaves to return to Halloween Town, Marnie Dillon, and unknown to Marnie and Dillon, Sophie, follow her onto the return bus. So afterwards, Gwen follows the children to Halloween Town. While there, Aggie and Gwen are attacked by the dark forces in the movie theater. Marnie, Dylan, and Sophie race to get the ingredients to activate Merlin's wand to stop the evil.
Things aren't always what they seem.
This is way better than a teacher's lounge.
Can I please take this off now?
Oh, yes, of course, dear. You're perfectly safe in here. Oh, and if anyone else wants to unzip, it's okay.
Oh, it's about time.
Oh, finally.
Oh no, things are definitely not what they seem.
Yeah, it looks very interesting. Looks interesting. And once again, a very cool cast. They always seem to do that, but they have Debbie Reynolds. Hello, Debbie Reynolds as Aggie Cromwell.
Yep.
And I think that's pretty much like the only person there that people will recognize. But it looks like a cool film for sure. So please check out Halloween Town for streaming now on Disney Plus.
Number 9.
Okay, so this one I put on the list because it's great for very small children. It is not a scary Halloween movie, and it is Spooky Buddies. And with this one, the puppies, they go on a spooky adventure through a haunted mansion.
The Buddies movies are fun. They can be fun. I can only take them in small doses. I can only take them in small doses, but they are fun. They're nonetheless.
We usually have this that we watch with the kids at work. We usually kind of split it up into two different rooms. So the older kids can watch something that's maybe a little much for the 5-6-year-olds. So this is always like a go-to at work for us.
Okay, well, let's check out a clip of Spooky Buddies, shall we?
Yes.
Oh, this is just a music video, for heaven's sake. I'm not doing it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. We're gonna do this instead. Hopefully, please let this be the right clip.
Lovely to meet you. This is Butterball, Buddha, B-Dog, and Mudbud.
It's a dream come true. We're surrounded by vanilla ice cream.
From Fernfield to Alaska to the North Pole and even the moon.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Now, the Buddies are back in their most spectacular adventure ever.
This dog is afraid of snuff.
He did the monster man. You can't escape.
Maybe he wants to eat our brains. That's zombies, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to devour everything he sees.
That's Butterball.
Come on.
I sense you puppies are in danger.
Only if we end up at your groomer.
Disney Spooky Buddies, an all-new movie on Disney Blu-ray and DVD today. Rated G.
Did somebody say boo-ray?
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Look, it's a great movie for little kids.
Oh man. Yeah, no, sure. Rated G for everyone. Rated G for everyone. Do you recognize that voice doing the voiceover for that commercial?
Who isn't?
Tom Kane from Star Wars.
Gotcha.
The narrator. Sounds like Tom Kane. So I'm just going to say it's Tom Kane.
Okay.
Say. How about the next one, Kristen?
Okay, so this one was a TV movie thing.
Number 8.
Better late than never.
And it is Tower of Terror, which, you got to kind of you have to do this one because of the attraction. So this film starts out with 5 people walking into an elevator, but of course something goes very wrong. The elevator collapses 11 floors and the 5 people roam around the hotel as ghosts.
Where have we heard that before?
60 years later, reporter Buzzy and his niece Anna are trying to find out the mystery of the hotel. An old lady named Abigail tells them that if they find belongings of each person on the elevator, they will be free from the hotel.
Okay.
So one of the people who's in this that stars is Kirsten Dunst.
Okay, so that's good. And this, by the way, was part of the Wonderful World of Disney series, made for TV movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to remember exactly the date when this came out. It was a while ago because Kirsten Dunst was super young.
Oh,
she looked super young in this movie. But Kirsten Dunst, she's in the movie. Nia Peoples, this is okay. We're totally dating it now because Nia Peoples, that's like the Arsenio Hall era, right? I mean, that is Arsenio Hall era. And then, of course, talking about Arsenio Hall era, Steve Guttenberg. When was the last time you saw Steve Guttenberg? I know that he did something recently, but he's in that movie as well. You know, Steve Guttenberg was literally the lead role in all the Police Academy movies and 3 Men and a Baby, right? So, yeah. I don't know when this initially came out. When did it come out, Kristen? I'm trying to see. Oh, 1997. 1997. So, have you seen the Tower of Terror out there? I want to know from our chat if you've seen the Tower of Terror, because I remember seeing some of this, and it might be scary, all right. I mean, let's get real. But this is not Inception, folks. This is not Inception. If you're tuning in to see the scary Disney movies, they don't exist. They don't exist unless it's Dimension Films, which was owned by Disney at one point, because then you could put Scream in there.
Isn't it New Dimension?
Or New? What did I say?
Dimension?
No, it's Dimension Films.
I thought it was New Dimension.
No, it's Dimension Films. Look it up.
Okay.
All right. Okay, here's something that I think everyone can agree on.
Number 7.
The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
I love it.
So
finally,
this is 2 stories: The Wind in the Willows and The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. And The Wind in the Willows has to do with the owner of Toad Hall and his new Fandangle motor car.
Okay. I like it.
And then, of course, I mean, everybody knows about The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Yes, and we also know that Mr. Toad is not supposed to drive anywhere.
Yes.
Check a look at this. Check out this clip from the movie. If I can get it done.
There was no doubt that Ichabod was the man of the hour. Brom knew that he must concede his rival still another victory. And yet there was still a chance his time would come. For when the hour grew late, Van Tassel always called upon his guests to tell him ghostly tales of Halloween. And Brom knew there was no more firm, potent believer in spooks and goblins than Ichabod Crane.
Just gather round and I'll elucidate on what goes on outside when it gets late.
How can you not like that? I have here's a spoiler alert for you.
Yes.
Better than Tower of Terror. So if some of those voices sound familiar, it's because they are. Bing Crosby.
Yep.
Yeah. Bing Crosby. You heard the voice of Bing Crosby there. And there's a bunch of other actors and actresses from that time. Basil Rathbone, Eric Blore, J. Pat O'Malley. But I think the most important thing is that it's classic Disney animation.
Yes. From 1949.
Holy Kazoo. How about this one that we just love?
Number 6.
This one is more recent. It's from 1985, and it is The Black Cauldron. So centuries ago, in the land of, is it Prydain? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. A young man named Taran is given the task of protecting Henwin, which is a magical pig who knows the location of the mystical Black Cauldron. And this is, you have to keep him from the evil horned king who's will stop at nothing to get his hands on the Black Cauldron.
Are you working on your narrative voice? Is that what it is?
Yeah, why
Okay.
not?
All right.
New on special edition.
I love it.
A brave warrior.
I'll protect you.
A beautiful princess.
I'm Princess Anonly.
An evil emperor.
Soon, the Black Cauldron will be mine.
And a magical cauldron.
If the Horned King should find it, nothing could stand against him.
That holds the key to saving a mystical land.
Skeletor.
Black Cauldron on a new special edition Disney DVD.
If we destroy the cauldron, it will stop the Horned King.
Where is it?
With deleted scenes and more.
If I don't stop the cauldron, we're all lost.
Karen, no!
Walt Disney's classic adventure, The Black Cauldron Special Edition. Coming soon to Disney DVD.
Okay, so we saw the Black Cauldron again recently.
Yes.
It holds up.
It's good.
It holds up. And of course, I have to give a big shout out because he worked on this film. Dave Bossert. He probably is gonna listen to this show and he's gonna be like, you didn't like the movie? Of course we like the movie. It's great. It holds up. I think if there was a criticism that even Dave said about this film is that they tried to cram too much story of the book series into one movie, which they did. But wow, the special effects hold up. It looks great. Animation still wonderful, top notch to the team. It's a shame that this particular film didn't get, and I can understand why. I mean, kids were scared. This is Disney's very first PG movie, Kristen. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Everything was rated G up until Black Cauldron. Thank you, 1985. That's where things changed. Things changed back in the mid 80s. Okay. So, big fan of that movie. So we have here, I think this one is going to please a lot of people. What do you say?
Number 5.
Here we go. One of my favorites.
It is Coco from Disney Pixar.
Well,
and this is about Miguel, who dreams of becoming a musician like his idol, Ernesto de la Cruz. And despite the fact that he's a talented, singer and guitarist, he is not allowed by his family to play music. It's banned in his family.
Yeah, you can't be a musician growing up. You can't. You won't make any money.
So he goes and he strums at the Day of the Dead is going on. So he picks up a guitar, plays with it, and then all of a sudden he finds himself in the land of the dead. And so along the way, he meets Hector, and they go on this whole little journey to find his great-great-grandfather, who is the legendary singer. And the movie turns out a little bit different than you expect.
I love the twist. The twist is so good. It's like the M. Night Shyamalan twist. And Coco is one of my favorites. Absolutely.
Grandkids, cousins, pretty much everyone gets together. Even great grandma Coco. And the winner is Coco. I tell her pretty much everything. I used to run like this, but now I run like this. It's just way faster.
Life sounds like
Miguel, eat your food. Here, have some more.
No, gracias. I mean,
see? That's what I thought you said. Dia de los Muertos has begun. It's the one night of the year our ancestors can come visit us.
I thought it might have been one of those made-up things. I was just... But
tonight is about family.
I am not like the rest of my family. There's something that makes me different. Great-great-grandfather, I want to be a musician, just like you.
Oh, big mistake.
I'm sorry.
Welcome to the land of your ancestors.
Miguel?
We're your family. You're skeletons.
You're alive. You've got to get home before sunrise, or you'll be stuck here forever.
Ugh.
Security.
Hurry, come on.
It's showtime.
You, my boy, are meant to be a musician.
I must follow my heart.
I am trying to save your life. Nice kitty. Miguel, something's matter more than music.
Sorry. We may have our differences, but nothing's more important than family. I'm proud we're family!
Go, make you! Go!
It's just Dante.
Never name a street dog. They'll follow you forever. Now, go get my shoe.
Great film. What else can we say about Coco? It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. So,
number 4.
Got another one for you, Kristen. One of your favorites.
It is.
Also a heart tugger.
I am a big Tim Burton fan. So,
no kidding.
Frankenweenie is at number 4. And this is about a young boy, and his name is Victor, and he has a pet dog, Sparky. And Sparky gets hit by a car, so Victor decides to bring him back to life. And so he bolt-necked him together. And so
there he is.
Now Sparky is back to being his friend.
Well, there's a twist, of course. There always is with these type of things. But this film is actually based on something that happened to Tim, right? When his pet died, his dog died.
What is very interesting to me is that the cast, the voices in this, you have people who were in Beetlejuice, like Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah.
And Winona Ryder.
And other Tim Burton films like Martin Landau, who was in Ed Wood, and a couple others in there as well. Martin Short. The cast, the voice cast is great. The movie is heartwarming, and it is tragic because everybody goes through loss at some point in their life. And for those people that are huge fans of animals, that love their animals like they do their own family, like you and I, it's very tragic when something like this happens to you. And so Tim Burton made this movie because he could relate to what happened to him as a child with his dog. And I can't say that I wouldn't have thought about doing the same if I was a little boy and thought, I lost my cat or my dog or whatever, because you just love these little fur balls. They're like family. Even as an adult, you always, want your old pets back. So it is a heartwarming film, and it definitely deserves to be there for sure.
It is still because we've got our 31 movies that we're watching for Halloween. We haven't gotten to that one yet on the list.
Yes, but we are going to get to this one.
We already did. We already watched this one.
Absolutely.
Hocus Pocus.
Do it. First the bones and then the Vendredi to come into America, Mr.
Back in 1693, the people of Salem, Massachusetts, witches,
Yes?
thought they got rid of the Sanderson sisters for good.
We shall be back!
300 years later, it's Halloween Eve, and they're back.
We're home!
Are you boys a little old to be trick-or-treating?
I mean, what can you say about Hocus Pocus that hasn't already been said? I mean, first of all, the kid is from LA, moves up to Salem. He's a drummer, a musician, so automatically he's like, oh man, cool. And he wakes up the sisters by lighting a candle, which I will not say how or why that happens if you haven't seen it for yourself. But the moment, because I haven't seen this movie in a long time, neither of you. It's been a while. Believe it or not. It might sound blasphemous.
We watched it though.
But we didn't know. We watched it, and and once again, it holds up. Like the special effects and everything. The cameo from Gary Marshall and Penny Marshall was amazing. Of course, the music. I mean, the music is great. Great sensibilities and a great cast. Right? Just an awesome cast.
And Kathy Najimy. Hocus Pocus.
Into the night!
They love to fly. And it shows.
Sleep tight, no screaming.
I mean, it's so cheesy, these movie trailers, but that's directed by Kenny Ortega. High School Musical, right? Which, by the way, did you know that they're doing High School Musical, the musical Christmas special?
I did not.
Yeah. So anyway, I just thought I'd mention that. But so it seems like people love Hocus Pocus. Scott Garcia goes, what, number 2? Well, you can only imagine what's number 1 if you've been paying attention. I think, look, we did talk about this and how
this is one of my favorite Disney movies.
This is one of our favorite Disney movies. It's great. And so, do you want to go ahead and recap for people? Because if they're listening on Source of Radio, they might not know.
Okay.
They might not know. So let's go ahead and do a little, go ahead and give them a little something here.
Okay. Starting at number 10, Halloween Town, Spooky Buddies.
Oop, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Tower of Terror. The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, The Black Cauldron, Coco, Frankenweenie, The Haunted Mansion, Hocus Pocus, and
number 1,
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
All right.
I love this movie.
Love it.
You got
Absolutely
Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King.
Right? Absolutely. What's not to love about this one? You know?
The Pumpkin King.
From the mind of Tim Burton, The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Fantastic. You're joking! I can't believe my ears!
What's this? There's powder everywhere. What's this? There's white things in the air. There's children throwing snowballs instead of throwing heads. They're busy building toys and absolutely no one's dead. There's frost in every window. Oh, I can't believe my eyes. And in my bones I feel the warmth that's coming from inside.
Dearest Jack.
Sally.
I guarantee you this video is now going to be demonetized. Because I let that clip play too long. But what's not to love about The Nightmare Before Christmas? It's a great Christmas movie. It's a great Halloween movie. It's a great movie. And not only awesome stop motion animation, but an amazing soundtrack by your favorite motion picture soundtrack person, Kristen.
That would be Danny Elfman.
That's right.
And he is the singing voice of Jack Skellington.
True that. And also a great cast. You mentioned Catherine O'Hara again.
Yep,
So
she is
there
Sally.
she is. There she is. We've got Pee Wee Herman, Paul Rubens in there. You've got Chris Sarandon, amazing actor. Love Chris Sarandon. William Hickey in there as the voice of the scientist. Greg Probst in there as well. And we like Greg because of Whose Line. But there's a lot of great artistry and voice actors and just amazing music. Just all in all, this tops the list of the must stream for the Halloween season. So Lindsay says in the chat, I love it that you can watch it for 3 months because it could be a Christmas movie too. And that's it, right?
See, and that is why on October 1st, I have to change my purse to my Nightmare Before Christmas, Dooney and Burke, because that purse I can carry October, November, and December.
Oh, there you go. You've got it all. You've got it all. I don't know if we've got too much more in terms of the comments for tonight's show. But I have to tell you that we had a lot of fun putting this together because Halloween is one of our favorite times of the year. Absolutely. So wrapping things up, Kristen, do you have any comments about the different films that we reviewed today?
No, other than they should be on your list of Halloween movies to watch.
I think just a lot of people just love Nightmare Before Christmas. It's a lot of fun, and I think people just love Halloween. They love Halloween. The Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is totally why people love Halloween. It's just I'm just rambling.
I think part of the reason I like that so much is as a kid, I was a huge fan of Beetlejuice.
Yes.
And so it has some of that Beetlejuice
vibe. Well, it's Tim
feeling,
Burton.
Yeah.
It's Tim Burton.
Yeah. Well, then
it's his sensibilities. It's his art style. It's, of course, the music by Danny Elfman, right? So on Discord, where you can check out the Disney list on the Sorcerer Radio Discord page, we've got some comments here on the show saying The Watcher in the Woods, not really Halloween, but is easily the spookiest Disney film I've ever seen. Joan says Hocus Pocus and Halloween Town. Oh, that made the countdown. There you go. OC to WDW says Legend of Sleepy Hollow, aka The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. It used to scare me as a kid, right? Beth says, does Hocus Pocus count? If you've seen it too many times, you can quote it. Yes, Beth, it still counts. And Inimitable says Twitches was my favorite when I was a kid. Twitches almost made the list.
That I haven't seen yet.
Good times there. Good times for sure. Well, let us know what films in the Disney Plus catalog are you going to be watching with you and your family for the Halloween season. Just leave it in the chat. Should be super fun to see what everyone's comments are. I've got a few more. Danny Edwards had said on Facebook, my favorite was The Legend of Ichabod Crane. There you go. Heather agrees. Heather Endow. Lindsay, of course, our top fan and supporter of the show, says there's so many good ones, but my top 5 are Return to Halloween Town, Twitches 2, Hocus Pocus, Ghost of Buxley Hall. I did mention that a couple weeks ago. Lonesome Ghost, but I love Nightmare Before Christmas, but it also falls, of course, what she says, a Christmas movie and not a pure Halloween movie. And Heather Endow put the gif of the bone dance from Abai Works.
Nice.
So, man, great stuff there. We are going to be doing much more October Halloween content in the coming weeks, right, Kristen?
Yes, we are.
What we're going to be tackling there? What are we going to
We have our top 10 Disney animated villains, as well.
That's next week.
As our top 10 live action villains. And I think that's that's what we have. Yeah.
Love it. Then it'll be November, gang. Wow. Where has this year gone? Stuck in quarantine. But I tell you what we're super excited about is the fact that you join us every single week for yet another edition of the Disney list. Kristen, where can people find you?
They can find me at diningatdisney.com and on all social media platforms that you love. Make sure to check out Wednesday, Dining at Disney podcast, as well as tomorrow you'll want to catch Disney Parks podcast, where I get to be the guest co-host.
Love it. Love it. You can also find me, Aljon Go, on Instagram. I post all kinds of music stuff, awesome pop culture things. You can follow me there, Aljon Go, on Instagram. You can also follow the Disney List, as Kristen mentioned. All social media, Disney Listcast on Instagram. Leave us those questions, voicemails, if you will. Message us via Facebook. We're going to leave the link so you can leave a voicemail to us as well for the show. You can also follow another great podcast I co-host with Dave Bossert called Skull Rock Podcast, where we talk all things Disney and pop culture. So be sure to check that out. So 3 great podcasts. Not only that, but you also have our friends at Disney Parks Podcast, Sorcerer Radio, and all the great DJs there, like Diz Hiz and Wookiee Radio, Mighty Marvel Geeks, DW60, Sorcom Review, Disney Trip Tips, and Touring Around the World. And who else am I missing? Missing anybody? Did I get everybody? I think I got everybody. Animation Courtyard.
They also want to check out our friends WDW Park Hoppers, because they post a show each week on their podcast, Park Hopper Sid and Park Hopper John, and they talk about all things Walt Disney World.
Love it. In the meantime, I want everybody to be safe out there. Please take care of yourself and each other. I sound like Jerry Springer when I say that. But my name's Aljon.
And I'm Kristen.
And we'll see you real soon. Bye.
This podcast is not affiliated with the Walt Disney Company or its holdings and is intended for entertainment purposes.
Big shouts to our friends. Oh, Star Tours are about ready to take off, Kristen. Big shout outs to our friends there at Replay Heroes. Please check out Replay Heroes that provided our top and end theme music, because they're awesome. Get their record if you love synth pop and awesome guitar. Have a great week, everybody. That does it for yet another show, fam. Love you guys. We'll see you next week. I can turn off the stream. There we go. Now I can turn off the screen.